Hello, and welcome to Kids Care Dental and Orthodontics. This is insurance terms that you should know. First of all, what type of insurance does KCD&O accept? We are in network with most PPO insurance plans. PPO stands for Preferred Provider Option, meaning that the insured is allowed to see a physician of their choosing. We are also partnered with Prime Care. Prime Care is an in-house dental discount program that we can offer to families without PPO insurance. And lastly, there is UCR, which is an abbreviation for Usual, Customary, Reasonable. This is for individuals who choose not to carry insurance and would rather pay the cash fees for services rendered. Now, which types of insurance does KCD&O not accept? The first is HMO, which stands for Health Maintenance Organization. This is a closed network insurance. Individuals with this type of insurance are typically assigned a dentist by their insurance provider. If they still choose to be seen by us, we will be considered out of their dental network, and the insurance would not cover any services rendered. The same goes for Medi-Cal patients. However, don't be discouraged if a family still wants to be seen by us. This becomes a great opportunity to educate them on the Prime Care Dental plan. Let's dig a little deeper into the world of insurance and talk about the terms that you will hear daily. Let's start with the basics. Insurance provider. This is the company that the patient's insurance is provided through. Examples of this include Aetna, Delta Dental, and MetLife, just to name a few of the many. Dental provider. This is a licensed dentist that performs dental health services to a patient. And don't worry, all of KCD&O's providers are licensed, including our specialists such as the orthodontists, pedodontists, and our oral surgeon. As patient coordinators, one of the most important parts of our jobs is to understand and verify our patient's insurance eligibility. Eligibility is a status in which the subscriber or their dependent child qualify for insurance coverage. We can verify this via the phone, either by automated system or a life insurance representative. We also have access to verify some insurances online. Insurance group. This is the specific plan that an individual is enrolled in. These are often named after the individual's employer, which becomes the group name, and attached to a numerical value, which becomes the group number. For example, the Aetna insurance policy for Costco, the group name is Costco, and the group number is 701143. Benefits. This is the amount that the insurance pays towards covered dental services. Annual maximum. The amount that insurance is willing to pay up to towards dental services covered per contract year before renewing again the next contract year. It is important to keep in mind that some plans work based on a full calendar year, whereas others are on a floating 12 months, such as from April 1st through March 31st. Deductible. A portion of money that the patient must pay towards certain categories of procedures before the insurance covers their agreed upon percentage. Typically, most insurances have an individual deductible of $50 and a family deductible of $150. However, please keep in mind that this can vary from policy to policy. Next, let's go ahead and talk about the different categories of dental services. There are 3 categories of dental procedures to consider. The first is preventative. This will usually comprise of the routine examination, cleaning, and fluoride applications. The next is basic. Treatment done in a pediatric dental office tends to fall into this category. Examples of this would be fillings, extractions, and pulpotomies. The third category is major. This will consist of crowns, bridges, dentures, and other dental procedures that you won't encounter well in a pediatric office. The reasons these categories are so important is because each category has its own predetermined rate of coverage. For example, it is very common for a preventative to be covered at 100% by the dental insurance. However, basic and major procedures will typically have a copay expected from the patient. This is called the patient's coinsurance. For example, Stephanie's extraction was covered at 80% by her insurance. Her family is now expected to pay the remaining 20%, which we will collect the day of service. It is very important to keep in mind that all insurances have the right to determine what categories they place procedures into. For example, a sealant might be considered preventative in one insurance policy, but considered basic in another. It is always so important to use your resources in Dentrix to verify these coverage details. Next, let's take a moment to talk about insurance restrictions. Waiting periods. Some insurance policies have built-in waiting periods that individuals must meet before all of their dental coverages become available. For example, the subscriber must have their dental coverage for a full 6 months before insurance will begin paying. Most insurance policies won't have a waiting period, but it is always important to double check. In situations where you do have a waiting period, it will typically affect basic and major procedures. Limitations and exclusions. Insurance can be very specific about what they will and will not cover. Limitations may be related to time, age, and/or frequency of the procedure. Frequency. That is the number of times a procedure can be performed within a given time period. It is normal to find a frequency limitation in regards to fluoride applications. An example of this would be, Tom had a fluoride application in January, and his insurance policy only covers one application per calendar year. This means that insurance will not pay for another fluoride application until the following January. As a patient coordinator, in this situation, we would want to explain to his parent that although we highly recommend fluoride twice a year, due to their insurance policy terms, we cannot expect insurance to pay, and we will collect the cost from the parent directly if fluoride is applied. Another common example of limitations and exclusions is in regards to sealants. Most insurance policies have a specific age limit that sealants are covered up to. There are even some policies that have different age requirements depending on which set of molars we are applying a sealant to. To versus through is a very important detail to understand how insurance uses the terms to and through. For example, sealants are covered to the age of 14 means that once the patient turns 14, they are no longer covered. However, if insurance says that it is covered through the age of 14, then 14 is the last year that they can get the sealants. This tiny detail determines whether or not a fluoride or sealant is actually covered, and we need to always pay attention to this detail. Now that we have some understanding of insurance terminology for before and during a dental appointment, let's talk a little about what happens at the end of the appointment. Insurance claim. A standardized form that provides an itemized statement and requests the payment of benefits for dental services provided. We here at KCD&O are very lucky to have a fantastic claims and payment team based out of our practice support office. The claims and payments team specializes in helping us make sure these claims are created and sent out correctly. Each practice has their own designated biller from this team. Another way claim forms can be used is as a pre-treatment estimate. A pre-treatment estimate or predetermination is when a claim is sent out to the insurance with procedures we are planning on doing, and we would like to get a more accurate estimate of what insurance should be expected to pay. This is very helpful in situations such as surgery center, where the cost of treatment can become high for the patient. Congratulations! This concludes insurance terms that you should know. Please remember that your team members and practice managers are great resources of knowledge and further understanding of all the terms mentioned today. Thank you so much for listening. Bye-bye.